Happy Monday. We got a show for you. We got some fresh green colors here. Looks like Connor B was clicking around on the platform. We got our ATI green, ATI Pro Media green. Well, welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. The show built itself today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got plenty of time to do it, but we will need to wrap it up because I got to get a hold of our cattle clients and tell them what's going on over there, see what they want to do. We don't really have stock market clients. Of course, we are futures and options brokers, but there's a lot going on in the stock market. That's not our specialty. We're corn, beans, wheat, cattle, a few other things. I've helped people hedge interest rates. And of course, our friend Brady Huck and the crew over there do LRP insurance. But we're managing risk, and risk is happening. I could just throw a couple things that'll be like, what's going on with that? Natural gas up 8%. Stock market, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, real close to highs or all-time highs. They're moving so fast I can't tell. Feeder market, feeder cattle. We had cattle on feed on Friday. Brady Huck will talk a little about that during the week, but that's not the headline. The headline is the news out of Mexico. You can see through that bid ask in the feeder cattle ticket this morning. Rip it and grip it. They are trading risk. Now, I'll just tell you, heads up, ring the bell. Feeder cattle were up 500 just a few minutes ago as I went to get my second cup of the coffee in a way. Look at that. That's the ATI green right there, boys and girls. We're ATI Pro Media green, a little lighter shade, but a little lighter. You know, when we talk, we're just a little lighter too, a little easier to listen to. All right. Enough of my jibber jabber. We don't need to go to LaSalle Street and Wall Street because I kind of went through that. I want Connor Bridgman in here. He's the only one on the show who knows what's going on. CB, we got price action like I was not expecting for a Monday. What's good? Who was clicking buttons over the weekend on the platform? Your kids or you?
No idea. Allegedly, if you click edit profile, it immediately changes the colors very fast. I don't know how it happened. Someone told me that. So it looks green. The green's popping.
I like it.
I say we roll with it.
I actually like it better than what we had before there. So sometimes, like Mr. Rick taught us, many songs that were ever produced in the studio were actually the little sound you would hear happened by accident, right, Rick? So some of the best, I'm not thinking it. Rick, jump on here. Come on, it's Monday, baby. It's Thanksgiving. We're on our 1 week anniversary.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot, Tommy.
How about that guy, that Rick Beato or whatever, the guy?
Rick Beato, yeah.
Rick Beato, thank you. It's Monday. That Money or Nothing, the Dire Straits song, total accident. Yeah. The way that came up. What's that called? The introduction of a song. The
intro?
No. Like, is it what when someone starts or the original guitar part, you know, like there's
riff?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But some of the greatest things happen by accident. So Connor picking this new green, it's just one of those many things. Yeah.
Yes, actually, sometimes the best things come out of it just a mistake.
I'm going to tell you all something and pull this together like accidents. I'm so good at. Steve Jobs, you may have heard of him, founder of Apple. Yep. He said one of the things he talked about when people send their kids to college for useless classes, he said by far one of the greatest classes he ever took, and something he learned in school that his parents thought was silly he was taking, was calligraphy. And so when you talk about fonts in Canva or all the fonts or the way the Apple phone works, he said the reason he changed Apple so different than any other way before was he had recently had that class and then implemented a lot of things he had learned in that class. So some of these classes that people say in the arts are useless are actually, we use those things 10, 15 times a day. Little tip of the day there. What do you think of that?
This is the great insight into the mind of Tommy Grisafi, because we're talking about how the color green is off, and now we're on Steve Jobs' college classes. I love it.
But I'm not wrong. Google it.
You're not wrong at all. I love the connection, though.
Yeah, Mr. Rick, 1 year ago, we're going on our 1 year anniversary of ATI Pro Media. We've met some great people. This Friday will be the anniversary, and if you ask me what the neatest part was, it'd be the people we met and the chats and stuff like that. But I know you have worked so hard on this, and we thank you.
You're welcome. No problem.
Right, what should we talk about? Market? Should we head to that? There he is. He jumped out.
I'm ready if you are, Tommy. It's when I'm looking at the show, Central Illinois, not a whole lot of my focus is always on the grain. So I'm looking at Mexico. We got flash sales. Nice chart from Dr. Schonkweiler about just corn production. And then also Brady and yourself, you guys need to talk about this cattle news. That's probably the real headline, but I'll jump into the boring stuff. But we need it. Daily sale, 365,000 corn sold to Mexico, with another 89,000 for 25-26, right? Add that up, we're north of 400,000. So another good sale to Mexico. And here's one that I thought was interesting, Tommy. I don't know if you saw this one, but just looking at Mexico corn production, we don't talk about this a whole lot. Significantly down, right? A little bit of drought conditions. Also, the economics aren't there. But if we're going to be grain bulls, we need Mexico. We need the follow through in terms of Mexico corn buying, right? When we talk soybean exports, it's very much a window of opportunity, and then it's kind of like a cliff, right? Really, the business goes down south to South America and Brazil. Corn exports, not so much, right? It's usually a steady stream. So here's the hope, or something that I'm going to hope for, is we continue to see strong export sales into the new year, into Christmas time.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we're selling of stuff, and I think the farmer sees those headlines and then they look at the quote board. They're disappointed in the futures, but the thing not to be disappointed in is the spreads in the basis. I've seen several farmers. I've noticed on the internet, they're like, "There's a huge buyer in corn. There's a huge world buyer. Our basis is getting better." The basis is getting better, but it's also coming at a futures market that's dropping. So you notice that the cash market is working through the spreads and the function of the market. Natural gas being up 8-9%. That kind of tells me it's going to get cold out sometimes as we get into Thanksgiving. Do you really want to go bring a load of corn to the elevator or end user right for Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving? So they got to push it a little bit. And our folks in Bloomington and all our commercial brokers all over the United States are working on this stuff. I wouldn't go as far as to say that we're going to burn through our 2 billion bushel carry out, but the function of the market is working. Correct, Connor? First notice
Absolutely.
day?
Absolutely. If you wanted to be a contrarian, you'd say exports are up because we have a whole lot of corn to export, right? That's the other story, is we still have a record corn number, record corn production, along with some lower prices. Exports were bound to jump up, right? I tend to spin it positive, but that's the truth as well. So good point, Tommy.
Right. It's wild watching these markets move. So many things. I didn't really think waking up or going to bed last night would be crazy busy in all these markets. We do have so many things we need to talk about, and we'll just do little blips, because a lot of these little blips are going to then move over to premium. We have a choice for Ag Secretary. I'll visit with Don Wick about that. He'll have a lot of insight, and we have there we go. We could talk about that a little bit. I don't know very much about this particular choice, but we'll see, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of policy and anything like that, it's kind of, it's a who knows. She hasn't had a whole lot of a whole lot of picks in terms of agriculture, but it seemed, the reaction I got, or I saw, was mostly positive. So that's how I'm going to choose to be, Tommy. So
right,
yeah.
We'll go with that. President Trump has been friendly towards agriculture. Some may not feel that way with the tariffs and whatnot, but if the money comes in somewhere, whether it be through sales or money given back to farmers, the farmers I talked to, I did to report back from that wedding I had attended in Minnesota and North Dakota, that the farmers I was with were extremely optimistic, and for two reasons. The bushels are here, and although they're not happy about the price, if you have bushels up in the northern plains, you're going to be able to farm again next year. Also, to note, land prices are still holding up very well. So when we talk about the Dow Jones up 500, we can't help but notice that land prices are holding in there, and that's a great thing for the American farmer.
Yep, absolutely. You know who else is bullish corn? We got to talk about fund positioning, Tommy. Continue, not a big change in terms of corn fund positioning, but they're still holding that long position, right? Something we haven't seen since, right, going back to 2022, right? We're in that long corn bet. Not exactly a big change from previous, right? As you see that little kind of horizontal line, but we continue to see it, right? A lot of movement. We saw, we saw a lot of longs exiting, shorts exiting, right? First time in 5 weeks that funds reduced gross corn longs. So time will tell, but guess what? They're still bullish. It's not really worth pulling up the soybean wheat chart. Much different story. Very bearish. Soy meal, I don't have it handy, but soy meal in terms of fund position, taking it on the chin these past 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting year when it comes out to the meal and oil and the crush and what we use domestically, what we're selling. I know folks out there they're seeing us sell a ton of soybeans. There's a good chance that could come to an end as that South American crop matures. Now, we're not talking a lot about South American weather problems anymore. I'd be interested if you and
there is none.
well, I know, but sometimes people are bullish, try to make stuff up, right? So if you and Dr. Cruz could get together here in the next few weeks, pop out a premium. Real quick, we do have a Treasury Secretary that's very solid choice. Wall Street's extremely, extremely happy with this choice. Now, I just because these people are named or nominated or talked to be, that doesn't mean that every single person you see every day whose name pops up, you would have went home midday at breakfast. You would have thought one person was going to be ag secretary, and then by supper you'd have a different name. So a lot of moving parts. We know one thing with not only the Trump administration but any administration is that people come and go quick. They say that was it Matt Gaetz from Florida? He's now on Cameo, so he's not part of Congress anymore. He's not running for any positions. He's like, check me out on Cameo. I don't know if he's serious or not, but I do know this when it comes to Cameo. Our very own Rod Blagojevich out of Chicago, once he got out of jail, he was doing cameos, and we had several people had tossed around some of those. I know one time, little story, because I'm just like slap happy as hell, but the guys from the corn options pit, this is a true story. I know half the stuff you think come out of my mouth isn't true, but we'll have PJ Quaid on here. And the guys from the corn option pit had Rod Blagojevich make a cameo talking to the CME group about something they wanted. And the CME group did not think it was funny. Anyway, it's classic to have the former governor of Illinois.
That's
everything, full disclosure, everything I've told you all today is true to the best of my abilities.
I believe it. And talk about a company that I don't want to keep is when my name's mentioned with Rod Blagojevich. But so luckily I'm not on Cameo. So
we might have him on the show. I tell you what, that guy knows Illinois politics. You know,
I'd love to have him on the show.
Okay, one more because I'm in the mood. For those you home gamers, I don't know if you remember, but Rod Blagojevich was on The Apprentice. And in one of the episodes, he fell asleep. And Donald Trump's like, Rod, you got to get it together. When you go home, you got a lot of stuff going on. It was right before he was sentenced. So they're all supposed to be doing something. Rod Blagojevich is back there sleeping. Anyway, Blagojevich goes home, gets sentenced, goes to jail for, I quoted up, maybe like 6 years, right? Comes out of jail. You know who pardoned Rod Blagojevich?
Was it Trump?
Donald Trump. Yeah, number 45/number 47. Interesting times. So, you go on a show, you think nothing's going to come of it, spend a lot of time in the cement house over there, and then you get out and you get pardoned. So, yeah, Rod Blagojevich would be a fascinating person to talk to.
Absolutely.
Might have to be, I don't know that it would be on this show, but I'll get him on. I got a little website myself, so we'll get Rod on.
I like it, Tommy. Hey, let's talk. Feels like the main story or the one that kind of broke this morning, right? Fill us in, Tommy. We have seen an increase in import restrictions on animal products from Mexico, thus likely limiting feeder cattle imports from the country. Number one, tell us what this means. Number two, walk us through the feeder cattle price action this morning as well.
Yeah, well, Mexico's saying hold my beer on this one. We did have cattle on feed. Didn't see anything. I would have thought that was neutral to slightly bearish. As we know, anyone who watches the ladders, that's the up and down tickets here. Incredible price action in feeders. They're only up 230 right now. They were up 500 when we started the show. Live cattle only up 40. If you were short, I would imagine there was some serious puking. You have a get me out order, and then there's another order even above that one. I think we saw some of those hit the market feeder cattle up 190, quote them up 256 in Jan. Where could you have sold them? When we tell you if you want to sell something, have your orders in. Feeder cattle on the lows coming off a 259.50 high. We are way off the highs. And someone stepped in there with both hands and is selling those levels. These are hedgeable levels, protectable levels, LRP levels. give someone from our team who sells LRP a call, or do futures or options. Of course, futures and options have risks. Let's get that rolling at the bottom, because when we talk about futures and options, you can get yourself in a pickle. I mean, people sell calls saying we'll never go there. Well, it looks like we went there today and tagged someone. People do trades thinking we'll never go there. And when we go there, it gets ugly. And when we go there, we become incredibly volatile and not as liquid as we're used to. So you think you can always get out. And when the markets are interesting, are when you can't get out. And so many times in my trading career, whether it be 9/11 or different events that have happened in the world, it's not what you know, Connor. It's what you don't know that puts you out of business.
Absolutely. Here's what we know. I got a little more color on this. Chief veterinarian officer in Mexico informed the USDA about a case of New World screwworm in a southern Mexico border state. In response, APHIS has increased import restrictions on animal products from Mexico. So reports of screwworm sending the feeder cattle market higher. We'll see where it goes from there. So I think that answered that question, Russ.
Yeah, I think that'll be the name of today's show, Screwworm.
I like it.
That was like an 80s rock band too. If I didn't know better, JoJo, was that ever an 80s rock band, Screwworm? No, maybe, but it might be. They might have a comeback. Just full disclosure, for as smart as I pretend to be, I have never heard of Screwworm in my life. So maybe B Huck can give us some color on that.
Yep, definitely. Well, here we go. Luke, let's answer some questions, get out of here. Is it time to idle soybean acres and put cow-calf pairs out? Now we're talking, Luke.
That's
we're not
a B Hutch cut. That's above our pay grade, Luke. Trying to embarrass us on a holiday week. Come on, guy.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. So with that, what else we got? That's it, Tommy. Let's wrap it up. Thanksgiving week, right? Market can do funny things around the Thanksgiving holiday. We got, when's First Notice Day? Friday?
Yeah, but we're going to have people out of December futures by Wednesday. Oh, yeah. Today is Monday, in case you're confused what day it is. Tuesday, Wednesday, counting on your fingers. We want to get people out. If you want to be part of that delivery process, we can get wild here on Friday, especially when you talk about contracts like spring wheat and other things. Corn, a little different scenario. Soybeans, different scenario. But these oats, remember last week, oats were limit down. Folks, futures and options have risk. If you got December on, manage that risk. Get out of that stuff. Do what you need to do, unless you want to play the adult game of actually participating in the delivery process.
Hey, I got some color on screwworm for you from our very own Tony Dunker. The name screw refers to the maggots' feeding behavior as they burrow into the wound, feeding as they go, like a screw being driven. Sounds very pleasant.
Tony Dunker, man, out of the park with that one. Shazam. Someone end the show. Tony Dunker coming in on the hotline with the screwworm, bailing us out. All right, real quick before we go, I do want to quote up the markets because they are a lot different than when we started. Grains are very calm, the not volatile one. Big price action, wheat down. Cattle market only up 25. Lord help us if cattle go lower on the day. You're going to see some incredible volatility, and we're real close to doing it. Live cattle only up 25. Feeders up 187. If you need risk managed, I know sometimes we joke on the show. This is not a joking matter here. Stock market, that's your 401k. That's your investing. That's not what we talk about a lot. It's not what we help people do. But Dow Jones up 400, S&P still up. Natural gas, folks, you need to manage that risk of these energies. They are hot. Gold and silver, good luck with that. Bitcoin, well, that's a whole nother animal, but incredible volatility here as we start the week. Absolute pleasure doing this last year, Connor, and I enjoy working with you.
Yep. You too. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. See you. Bye.